health plans have this thing where they get people that enroll into the health plan as a new enrollee. And typically we really focused on what they call Medicare Advantage plans. So when someone turns 65, they have the ability to receive Medicare. And that is a form of subsidized healthcare that's paid for by the government. It's free to the person, it's paid for by taxpayer dollars. But the issue with that is that your access is a little bit more limited than, say, you were to have a PPO or an HMO health plan. You're really relegated to the providers and the healthcare that will accept Medicare as your form of payment. So individuals have the ability to join what they call a Medicare Advantage plan, which is a plan that not only does the individual contribute a little bit to, but now the government's contributing to your health care, and it's kind of a mixed bag of people paying for your care. And when people enroll in these plans, they are assigned a risk score, and this risk score is what determines what CMS or the government will pay the health plan to help cover the cost of care. So now when this individual goes in to see their doctor, Medicare is no longer paying the bill, the health plan is paying the bill, but the government's helping subsidize the cost of that care. The individual is helping cover or subsidize the cost of that care. And it's kind of, like I said, it's a trifecta of people paying for care. But for the health plan, it's advantageous to ensure that the risk score that the patient has is accurate. It's advantageous to say, well, if a one is equal to, a risk score of 1 is equal to $1,000 a month, if I ensure that their risk score, or I, pursue efforts that will adjust that risk score to, let's just say, a 2.2, and these are all, I'm making up these numbers here, but let's just say now I'm getting $2,200 per month from the government to cover the cost of care, then that's more accurate because I'm paying more for this individual because they have conditions that aren't going away that I'm going to have to pay for as a health plan. So it's really just ensuring that the amount of care that I'm going to have to pay for is correctly subsidized by the government. And those are the efforts that the plan, unfortunately, has to take on their behalf to ensure that the risk score is updated. Although, the government's not going to take on that responsibility to ensure that they're paying the right amount of money. It's really it's the onus of the plan to do this. And so we helped the plans by providing what we call wellness evaluations on new enrollees. So people would enroll in these plans. We would go out, we would do a wellness evaluation on the individual. We would, capture any comorbidities or chronic conditions that the individual possessed. And then we would code it, we would audit it, and then we would submit it on behalf of the plan, thus adjusting the risk score. So that was a space that we got into in addition to health systems. And so we started providing this service, and eventually we had a team of providers and NPs and PAs that were going out into these homes providing wellness evaluations, and they needed somebody to manage the day-to-day operations of these providers. And since I had been with the company for a little while as their kind of first in recruiting, then as overseeing as the director of their recruiting, and then moving over into the director of their provider operations, that was my kind of segue into the operational sector of healthcare and my kind of dipping my toes in that water.
Yeah, when you first came out, you're spitting this information out like it's gospel. Like you're so efficient at it, and you're really good. And I kind of want to just halt the brakes for people that don't all know kind of what's going on. So when you first came out of school, obviously you didn't know you wanted to get into that kind of space. Was it a slow learning process to get into the learning all the terminology and just understanding Medicare as a whole and healthcare?
Oh my gosh, yes. And that's the thing I've noticed about not only that job, but almost every single role I've taken on since then. Yeah, there's a learning curve in every single thing you do. And it's really, really up to you to do your best to learn everything you can about the job you're about to take on, because to really succeed and to be successful in what you do, you have to really be that knowledge expert, that person that understands the ins and outs. And the more you can educate yourself and take the time to do the reading, to read the journals, the periodicals, everything that comes out about your book of business that you're about to step into or that you are into will only help you that much. You think you're going to get your education from just whatever comes down the pipe from management, you'll surely find out very quickly that it's really up to you to learn as much as you can. But to answer your question, oh my gosh, yes. Like every single job has been a steep learning curve with acronyms and definitions and processes and protocols and workflows. that you've never seen before. You have no idea what that space is, and it's difficult to understand, and you have to ask dumb questions. You you have to get comfortable, and this all comes with experience, but it comes with learning to be able to show that you're a content expert in a lot of things, maybe not in the thing that you're asking the question about, but as soon as you know that answer, you'll be able to use that foundation of tools that you already possess to make more educated decisions. But that was a big learning curve going into that space, and it's been a big learning curve into every space that I've jumped into since then.
And let me ask you a couple stupid questions so that way we can all be, on
Yeah,
board here.
good,
So
good.
with Medicare, is there only just one Medicare plan or is there multiple ones?
There's multiple ones. I mean, it really all depends on where you live, what your options are. But yeah, almost every major health like payer being the insurance company, the people that's paying your bills. You obviously you're responsible for like your copay, and a portion or a percentage of it based on the health plan that you choose. But the majority, if let's say your bill is $10,000 and you paid a $20 deductible and $1,000 of whatever that whole bill was, the insurance plan is paying the rest of it. Yeah.
And is there a point when you can use Medicare before you retire at 65 or before you turn the age of 65?
Mm-hmm.
No.
Yeah, it's an age thing. Yeah.
It's an age thing. Okay. And
Mm-hmm.
then with Medicare, is it obviously it's taken out of your income and it's built up over time so you can use it. Is it a certain percentage of what you make, and so the more you make, the more they'll put into this fund, or is it a consistent amount
So
that they take out?
and it's not even what that individual is paying, it's what you are paying, it's what I'm paying. I mean, it's essentially the population. I mean, there's a Medicare tax in your paycheck that you pay right now, Mike, and what I pay,
Mm-hmm.
that goes to support those that are 65 and up that are on Medicare. Like you pay it, I pay it. That's why, there's always this like debate of, oh, Medicare is drying up by the time we get older, Social Security and things of that nature won't be there. Yeah, it's you and I and the people who are working today that are paying the cost of Medicare and Social Security for those that are in their senior years now.
Right. And so it's a collaborative effort from everybody in the community that we all agree, like, okay, like some of us aren't going to be able to pay. Some of us are over going to pay. We're all going to do our part. And so that everyone can afford healthcare when they get older, because not everyone may be able to when they get to that age. And
That
so
is
it's kind of,
correct.
and that's a
Safety
collaborative,
net.